today we are doing an unboxing of, well, you can't see it there. You can see the photos of the people as I get my autofocus to work. It is the collector's edition of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice. And if you want to know what you get in this bundle, well, I'm going to find out with you. Triton Noir contacted me. They said, hey, do you want to review this? And I hemmed and hawed. And then I decided, you know what? I remember the stealth mechanic in this seeming pretty cool. And I found some people who are interested in diving into it with me. So yeah, I took the plunge and I took out the chunk of time that it's going to take to get through this campaign game. And you'll probably see a review of this around March or so as I get through. But that's not what today is about. Today is about doing an unboxing. I haven't looked in this box yet, so I'm excited to check it out and see all the things that it has in store. This box is huge. This is so big. I don't know if this is the biggest box that I now own. It is bigger than Gloomhaven. It came super well packaged too. I think this was probably like a copy from the floor, right? It didn't come in shrink, it just came like this. But it's got everything in here, so I'm gonna go through this, and I know there's some things that I'm not allowed to show you, but I'm gonna do that probably anyway. No, I'll cut it out in post if it's a real spoiler, but I think it's mostly like the campaign as I cover my whole face off of. Can you? Okay, I'll get out Gloomhaven as a. No, you know what? I'm gonna get a regular sized box. Fittingly, Tiny Towns is almost two Tiny Towns length, and basically a Ticket to Ride size box standing up. If you want to just chop off this amount, this is how we measure things in room and board land. It's bigger than a Codename's width and 2 Ticket to Ride length. That's how big this box is. This is a massive, massive game, and I'm excited to check it out. So let's get into it. Let's look at it. Let's check out all the minis. Let's see everything that Assassin's Creed Brotherhood has in store. So Assassin's Creed is, that was the box. That was the box, I swear. You can see, I don't know if this is going to come packaged in the real deal, but it's nice that everything is kind of all in order. And honestly, I should have changed my camera angle because it's going to be me just kind of like peering over this whole time. All right, let's get all this stuff out of the way. This packing material that is saving everything. Oh boy. Let's just go from the top down. And first off, we have this campaign booklet. This is cool. This is exciting. I have a few campaign games that I'm not playing, and so I'm excited to have a commitment to do this. It says, please read the rulebook first. We're not going to do that. We're just going to take a little glimpse at the inside and the sequences. I can show you number 1. This is sequence 0. This is like the tutorial sequence. I believe, important, do not open envelope yet. There's going to be a bunch of envelopes in here, so it may not be that interesting in unboxing. You'll have to just wait for the review. But I took a long time to set up all this camera equipment, so you're going to sit here with me. I don't think this comes with the big ostentatious tower in here. I think that also might be like a separate box, but we'll see. We'll see. So we've got all these memory 1s synchronized, so you'll return to the villa. Assassin's Creed, this is going to try to replicate the video game experience, right? Where you go back and forth between diving into memories and not. Memory 0.2, these are still clearly warm-ups. Memory 0.3, wow. Okay, maybe they're not. Yeah, 0.4, okay, then we get to 1.1. I feel like all of that is going to be tutorial stuff that you're just going to want to bang through and learn how to play the game, and then you'll finally get on to the different memories. And optional memories, that's kind of cool. Okay, that's all I'm going to look in the camp. No, I don't know if I want to sign up for, but I'm excited to check it out and be able to give you a full review. I asked my patrons if they'd be interested in me reviewing this, and they said yes, and so I'm going to do it. Oh, that's just gorgeous. The art in here, we got the contents. Yeah, let's look at the contents that we've got, because we're going to be pulling out 2 large tiles, 6 medium tiles, including 1 secret tile. Oh, 39 small tiles, including 5 secret tiles, a bunch of dice, some boards, some cards, a lot of tokens, and a heck of a lot of minis. Now, this should be mentioned that this is the collector's edition, and so there is like a non-collector's edition. I believe a lot of these minis turn into standees, and if you don't want a giant box like this on your shelf, but you still want the experience, that is absolutely an option. They just gave this one to me because they wanted me to show off all the cool things, and by showing it off, get other people excited about it, right? I mean, I was excited until I saw this bear tamer and his bear. You kidding me? You kidding me? Ugh, just horrid. For those of you who don't know, my entire family was kidnapped by bears. Awesome. Golden rules and glossary. How to read the rule book. That's great. By reading only the rules you need before each game, or you can read them all before you start playing. I don't know. Which one should I do? I generally like to read everything all the time, but it's nice. The beauty about legacy games and campaign games is that you do get to learn as you go through, right? It's designed for you to learn on the fly. And I think for a lot of people, that helps ramp up the complexity later on down the line. You can get those added complexity things and really dive into the game. And it kind of holds your hand and gets you into that level. On the other side, it doesn't necessarily give you its best foot forward in the first thing, right? That's why when it's tough to review a campaign game, because you want to see what the campaign has in store, and you have to kind of find that balance between how fun is it at certain points and how long does it take you to get to that fun. So, but it's not a long rule book, so that's pretty good. There's 51 little sections, but playing 2 maps side by side, ooh, that's gonna happen at some point. Okay, cool. And then in the booklet as well, there were just a bunch of stickers, which I don't know what those are gonna do, but they're probably gonna affect cards. We got a bunch of tokens. Of course, I'll just do the, oh yeah, the punch test, as you gotta always do. That's really nice. That came out really nice. I always like to do this punch test, especially because when I was doing stuff for World Series Board Gaming, I had to punch out a bunch of copies of Ark Nova, and I'm kidding you not, every single one of these things that I punched in Ark Nova was hanging. It was hanging on a tag. And so I am very, very appreciative when companies make it easy for me to punch things out, because that's much nicer for the setup, for that consistent setup. Here are the boards, kind of little taggy on that, but whatever. Just like standard cardboard, nothing too fancy. Not warped though, so that's good. And then we've got these big boards as well. Let's take a look at these. Get those out of the way. Oh, we're gonna have to punch these out. Yes, because they couldn't come like that. Well, of course, we got to make sure that these get punched out and not not just laying loose like this. Although, to be honest, I'll punch all these out while we're talking, and we'll look at them. We got a little boat. Is this a boat? Yeah, it's a boat that hasn't taken off yet. On the other side, well, I thought it was gonna be a boat that did take off, but it's a mansion. It's just a mansion. I guess this might help with the travel. You know what I mean? By keeping them in these little things. We've got a courtyard with some pigeons here. Oh yeah, let's do that. There we go. Almost like I framed this correctly. We've got the canals of Venice. I'm not sure quite how it's going to be broken down, but you can see these sort of outlines. So I imagine these are your spaces, and at some points you'll be able to jump onto ships, and at some points you won't be able to. Oh, and here are the smaller tiles. I had to go back to check to make sure I wasn't missing the other ones. Here are all the other smaller tiles. Are they all labeled or no? I don't know if they're labeled or not. I kind of hope they're not labeled, to be honest, because if they are labeled, then it's always like you're always searching for the scene, but it looks like they're very, very similar, right? They're generic. Looks like you can't have a person on there. I don't know. The art is surprisingly nice, though, like surprisingly detailed. I never really pay that much attention to the art on tiles and on like map tiles, because like generally I don't care. You know, I'm like, yeah, it's a tile, whatever. It's a room. I'm focusing on like the tactics, always focusing on the other things that are happening around the board, and I never really pay attention. Like in Massive Darkness 2, I'm like, whatever. There's just a bunch of stone and colors. I just see stones and colors, but like here, well, they have so many digital assets right from the game, right? You might as well use them. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that's actually kind of cool. That's actually kind of cool. These are much prettier than I kind of was expecting them to be. Sure, let's keep going through. Just looking at them briefly. And they're all double-sided too, which I don't know if it's going to be annoying to organize, right? Like setting up different rooms and stuff, I always find that a little bit annoying to organize, especially if they're all different tiles, and especially if they're not like labeled with 6A or whatever. So then you have to actually search through the pictures. That might be might be a bit annoying. But like, I love how the light comes in there. That's neat. Cool. We got some more flower beds. I'm interested to see the consistency on both sides is good. And then we got these big old tiles as well, the different sort of maps that you might encounter, the different little castles, I guess, the little outposts that you can boat to or grapple to or something. Punch these guys out, more stone tiles, little elevated area. It's doing for, it's not bad. It feels like it might be warping a little, but I think it's actually pretty good. Yeah, super impressed with the art. But that makes sense because you didn't even need to pay and invest in the art because you're working with an existing property. Oh, cool. And then like roofs, so you could be like running on top of the roofs. That's neat. Different roofs as well. Again, I like all this sort of stuff, but I also then get worried that it's going to be annoying to set up. So I'll let you know about that when we get to the review. And then we're basically, I think, just minis. Is this just a box filled with minis? I don't know. But this is bananas. Are you seeing this whole thing? As we uncover, as we display it, these are clearly player boards, which you don't need 4 of. You're not going to play this game of 4 people, let's be honest. But we'll break that off. I do love that they're dual layered, though. That's pretty sweet. I don't know if this is dust. It's my dust. My place is dusty. Yeah, it's a bit dusty. Yeah, these are nice. These are firm and sturdy. These are pretty good. Cool. You know what? I'm getting excited, and that's how you know you made a good decision, right? You should feel this sort of excitement when you unbox stuff. What is this? What is going on here? How many layers are there gonna be? Jeez. So we've got this big top layer of minis. Wow. Okay. I'm just going to see what's in here, and then we'll go back and look at things in more detail, maybe. And put that over here. Clearly, this is going to show what's going to be underneath. We got a big advertisement for the Commandos. Jeez, and you see all the additional stuff that you can get, too, with it. The crow's nest. Okay, so that's the tower that comes in the extra box, which you absolutely don't need. These, a bunch of expansions, and they had another big expansion that was just on Kickstarter too, that put you into a jungle. Whatever. Oh, looky! It's got something else on the back, so it is worth keeping. This feels like it matches up with my first one. If you forget where things go, this is the sort of second one, the second layer of minis, which we'll get into, and then down here, ooh. These are the envelopes. This is cool. Stop. Oh, yeah. Okay, I think we're just going to take this out so I can access it a little bit better. And hopefully there aren't any secrets underneath here that I'm about to spoil. No secrets to spoil. But I do want to check out. Oh, I'm not even going to be able to open these. Dang it. Because these are going to be Assassin's Creed HQ. Well, let's open the HQ box. I don't care. Ah, see? Lovely empty box. I knew there wasn't anything in here that I needed to be worried about. We got the dice. Let's check out the dice for a little bit. I do love some custom dice. That is pretty exciting. We got some red dice as well. That's where the dice are gonna go. I like dice always come in. Here's a tip. Here's an unboxing tip for you. Dice always come in bags. Throw away those bags or save them for other components. You don't need dice in bags. What are you going to do? You're going to put them back in the bag, and then every time you open the game, you're going to take them out of the bag? No. Put them in a place that makes sense. All right, I don't know if I can open any of these, but I'm gonna lift them all up so that we can see more and more dice and more cubes, at least. So that's good. And then we got cards down here. Because we need the card. The cards have got to come from somewhere. Stop. Wait before opening this envelope. Alessandra, 1. Then this says 1. Bastiano, 1. Claudio, 1. Daria, 1. Does this have a character? Villa, 1. 0.1. 1. Oh, okay. They all say 1 on the bottom. Then 0.1, 0.2. Okay, cool. I'm assuming that Alessandra and Bastiano are the characters. I'm just going to take a little peek, and if I'm not allowed, I'm going to cut it. Ah! Slightly taped. Boom. Read this card before taking the other cards of the... Reveal the large Assassin Apprentice card. Leave the other cards in the envelope without revealing them. Return this card to its envelope. Oh, man. Okay, so I probably can't show this. Because even still, it's like, hey, take this out, look at it, take this out, look at it. Look at all these envelopes, though. Like, that's exciting right there. That's really exciting. Okay, let's see if there's any treasures under these treasures. No, no, no. See, this is why I should have read the instructions before just going all crazy on them. But this looks like a thing I can open. Also, here's the thing, like, with a campaign game and an unboxing, etc., I have a pretty good memory. And so I've always been afraid of looking ahead and opening things, etc. And that's true, you don't want to spoil it for yourself, but I also, oh, these just look like hit cards. Nice, okay, so you'd be flipping them over, 4 players, 3 players, 2 players, and probably 1 player? No, 2 players, maybe dual wield. You'll be flipping these over, and these will be like sort of attacks and whatnot. We got more dice too. I do love how many dice there are. Because you know how like in Zombicide or Massive Darkness and all that sort of stuff, you get like 6 dice, and then they say, oh yeah, you better pay for another thing. Now this could be a collector's edition upgrade, right? Like I could have, but just holding that this many dice in my hand and feeling like maybe I'm gonna get to check all these dice at once. I don't know. Gets me pretty pumped. I'm not going to open these boxes because they seem secretive, and I don't want to ruin that for myself. I won't ruin number 1 for you as well. But let's take a look at these minis while we're here, and then we'll just go through all the other minis and see the cool sculpts, and then call it a day, right? Yeah, I wish there was more to show you. I really wish there was, but that's okay. This is pretty cool. This is for sure like a collector's thing, like that just sits on the board somewhere as like a big old statue in the middle. And you just have it to look cool. I get that. Same with this. Like, oh, this is Leonardo da Vinci's tank, it said, because it's got the little wheels on the bottom. That's how you know it rolls. I mean, it doesn't roll. You could just... But they put the wheels there so you know it's a tank and not a house, which is kind of cool. All right, yeah, pretty solid. Not the heaviest of minis, but they don't feel flimsy. I'm a pretty famous mini painter now. I know a little bit about mini painting. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Give us a hug. Pretty cool. Okay, cool. So that'll go back into the box. Let's look at tray number 1 first. This one, my handy dandy. How to get back in. That. Get that out of here. All these delicious looking minis. And we'll consult our rulebook so that we're using the correct terminology. We've got our seekers. Our brutes, our artisans. Oh, these are crossbowmen. From my angle, I thought they were holding a palette and a paintbrush because I'm in artistic Leonardo da Vinci world. Those kind of snap out. That might be annoying. I don't know if that's ever going to chip off your paint, right? They kind of snap in, which... Not sure if that's the best. These are objective bases, so you can put objectives and stuff here, I guess. Maybe you can put a little ladder. That's cool. We'll find out what those do when we get into the actual game. Ooh, we got nice rubbery bases. Yeah, okay. It would be weird if they took care to make these bases rubbery and then made it so that the paint job on your bases wears off, but it does feel a little tight, honestly, which may not be the greatest. All right, let's check them out. Let's go with little. Oh, I was already close. That makes sense. So we got our agiles, is that what they're called? No, our seekers, because they're gonna seek you out, stab you with their thing. Oh, they have a bit of texture on their base too. That's nice. The little bit of the cobblestones there. At least it's something, right? You don't have to go all out, but just providing that nice little texture makes it pretty fun. Yeah, this is going to be very helpful. That big sheet, I was like, I don't need to worry about that at all, but I immediately am worrying about it. I don't like how these clip back in. I would much rather they just kind of went in, but I guess it'll be good for if you're holding the box vertically, right? Like if you're storing it vertically, which I probably will be if I can. All right, we got the Brute, big old Brute boy with his axe, same base with him on the other side. Cool. I really like his axe. Get some shiny axe stuff on there. There's a lot of different like armor on him too. Kind of cool. I mean, I'm not a mini painter, but I do play one on TV. We've got the crossbowman, and there's 2 poses of crossbow because you're going to apparently have a lot of crossbowmen. That makes sense. That gets me excited for the gameplay, actually, because it means that there's going to be hordes of crossbowmen that you're going to have to avoid and then run to, you know? So that's pose number 1. Oh, I think the other pose is in the other one. Here, what are you? These are the thieves. Yeah, these are the thieves. Again, that same sort of cobblestone base. Oh, no, this one's different. I like this one a lot more. You can kind of see a lot more of the detail there. As they're going to run away and sneak off with your pocket, your purse. Those thieves. Yeah, this is badass. I friggin' love plague doctors. They're so scary. These are the Dottore, like Il Dottore. Now, Il Dottore is actually a Commedia dell'arte character, which that's where my interest in the Italian Renaissance really stems from. So I played these games. Oh, here we got the bear. Look at this big friggin' bear. That's cool. I mean, it's horrid. It's the stuff of nightmares. The bear is also on the cobblestone, so most of these are going to be on the cobblestone, right? There's not any sort of you're going to be doing most of this in the city, which is kind of interesting. We even got a few little chests as well. It's kind of neat. Just smooth on top, no like wood grain or whatever. But pretty cool. We have the traders. The thieves are the only ones on the cobblestone that I like really like. But there seems to be like some slight difference in cobblestone, which like those little details are kind of nice. Even though I don't think it really plays. Ugh, am I gonna have to paint all these? It feels like I want to paint all these now, just to have some difference with the figures that are on the board. Whoa, this guy is cool. Niccolo di Pitigliano. That's this guy. Now we're getting into something like dynamic. Yeah, I would love the billowy cloak right there. That's pretty sweet. Cool. And then let's look at the assassins. We have 4 assassins. 1, 2, 4, all in flourishy poses. I will be choosing the assassin who's got the best pose, and I can already tell you that it's Bastiano. But here's Alessandra's pose. Dagger behind, sword behind their back. Ready to strike. Oh, just kidding. This is Bastiano, which is really cool. I love this, I love the movement that's kind of represented here, you know? With the sort of backhanded blade, like having a backhanded blade is a nice fighting technique. And I know about backhanded blades and rapier and dagger because I'm actually trained in single sword and rapier and dagger combat. So there you go. I mean, I haven't done that in a very long time, but I am officially trained in it, which is kind of cool. This is who I want to be. It's Claudio. Like, what a friggin' great, just like being so fancy with his sword. Well, it's so taunting. Like, this is such a taunting pose. The hand behind the back, the fencing, but like the blade down too. Like having the blade down, and especially at like that height and angle, is just so offensive to me. It's just so taunting because it's not like he's parrying anything. Because you would never extend your reach that far to parry something. It's like he's just, It's like it's as if he's kicked them down and they have like exposed armor, and he's just like sticking his sword in the middle of that that chink between their, like, they've looked up with their helmet, and their armor leaves that like little space exposed, and he just goes. It's just like, or he's just like, oh, I'm ready, ready to like flick it away, and then just like jump in. Anyway, I'm being Claudio. I don't even care. I don't care. Dibs on Claudio. That's what's happening. Although Daria, who I want to call Darla, but Daria's also got a pretty sweet pose too. It's like there's a secret exposed crossbow bolt up her sleeve, which is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Oh, and then we have 2 Ezio poses. We just have 2. It says pick one every time you pull Ezio out. Okay, so basically, I can throw this Ezio in the trash, and I'll take this Ezio because it's dynamic and awesome. So many backhand blades. Like, I guess if you're doing sword and dagger, but like once it's hard to switch your grip if you're gripping it like this. Honestly, look at me. Who thought my little swordplay knowledge would come into play? Because he's got like an overhand grip here, which is like a weird. So you're going with that, but you're also finishing it with like the sword. So as most swords here, like I think having the overhand, like an overhand grip with a dagger is never good for like actual fighting. I don't know if this is interesting or not. I think it's interesting, right? So you see he's got his like really overhand grip there, and he's got his sword there, so he's really like extending, and he'll have to do like a flip of that in order to come back from this fight. Even still, it's a dynamic. Any pose that's dynamic and exciting is the one that I'm interested in. Okay, what else? Of course, we have a few courtesans. 4 courtesans, 4 thieves, and we got some mercenaries. Mercenaries just seem fine. Courtesans are there. Mercenaries are here. With their single axe, that's kind of cool. Oh, and then we also have some assassin apprentices who might be following you around, or might be your more villains. But I think because they're up here, they're probably just following you around. Or maybe you play as these apprentices first, and then you get to choose your cool Bastiano pose. Or Claudio pose, right? Claudio, yeah. Screw you, Bastiano, I don't care. Oh, there's all the ladders, just like a bunch of ladders. This is definitely a collector's edition thing, right? If you like terrain, if you like this sort of thing, I might just take these and put them in a bag, honestly, so that I can have them just off to the side, because I don't really care. And so it's easier for setup. Like, these things are fun to have and to play with, and definitely makes it fun to have and play with. Here, I zoomed in, so this is our next candidate. Definitely fun to like zoom in and play with, but it also makes setup to be so frustrating. I feel like with games like this, you want to have a designated table, but I don't know. I might just turn these into little bins so that you can have these all as little bins, because they're like units, right? They're like resources. And so it's like, hey, you need crossbowmen. You don't want to have to pull out the individual crossbowmen every single time. No, you just want to have something that you can have on the table. And like, these are nice. These are really nice for storage. And if you're going to paint them all up, nice, great. But for like practical reasons of playing the game, I'd probably scrap a lot of this insert, to be honest. But you can't scrap it on the way there, right? Like, you have to get it delivered in this way. But for me, I'd rather not worry about it. So we have that second sculpt of the crossbowmen. Honestly, I forget what the first sculpt looked like at this point. This isn't why we're here. Well, we'll look at these other little guys. Oh, these are the agiles. These are the agiles. You can see because they're so agile. They can run around. Yeah, I'm going to want to paint and color code these, I think. Zach! Get your primers! Get your primers out, Zach! If having a thing like this also scares you, I just put out recently, myself and my good friend Zach, we put out Mini Painting 101, Painting for Dummies. If you're a dummy like me and like painting this scares you, you can do so much with just like a really basic wash. You don't have to put in a lot of time and a lot of detail on this stuff. You can really have it so that's popping and that it feels good. Let's look at these horsemen though. These are fun. These are really fun. The fact that there's 10 of them too, like the quantity and the size of this makes it exciting. Then we've got some more terrain, which is absolutely just like a collector's edition thing. These actually are quite nice in terms of terrain. I like these a lot. I like these a lot more than the ladders. And I like these a lot more than the chests too, because like you can see this texture. Like, I like texture. I'm noticing, especially just like starting my painting journey, I'm noticing how important texture is because it just makes everything pop. Like, as you paint it, everything just kind of pops out. But yeah, we go through just like putting on a basic primer, and then you just slop on a color, a speed paint or a contrast paint. If you don't know what those terms are, I didn't either. So go back and watch that video. If you have a game like this If you're like, especially if you want some distinction between the characters, go check out that video for sure. I don't know what this is. This doesn't excite me that much. Unless, oh, do these go together? Maybe? No. That doesn't make any sense. There's like a hole here, right? Feels like this should go on the bottom of something. Oh, you know why? That's because this is the top. Right? This is a rooftop garden. I get it, but why is this just flat? That makes sense. You see why I thought it was this? Because this pillar is just so flat? That's not that great, honestly. Like, why is there not texture and detail here? I don't know. But these are the rooftop gardens. Oh, so these are like curtains that you can go and have a sexy time with. Alright. And then finally, we got this big old boat. Oh, yeah, that's cool. I don't know if it's big enough for somebody to stand on it, though. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Probably put yourself in there and go for a little gondola ride or on the side. There's no, like, designated space for you to go. See, you fall out. But this looks quite nice. This is something that I'm excited to have on the board, especially if you get to kind of like maneuver it around and like sail around the area. That'd be cool. All right, that's this. I wish I could show you more of the envelope stuff because there's all those cards in there that I just can't show you. But these are cool. This tray here was a lot cooler than the other tray too. The other trays are kind of cool. The scopes, I think, they're good. They're fine. They're not blowing me away, to be honest. And so, for that reason, I think you can really just focus on getting the non-collector's edition. Because I know there is a non-collector's version that you could get as well. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about this this stuff here. So you can see it a bit better, so less glare. I'm really excited about the cards that we're gonna uncover that I don't know where they are. Yeah, 14 black dice, 8 white dice. 4 red dice. Oh, those are the enemy reinforcement cards right here. Those are the ones that we were looking at earlier. That shows how many and of what types, I think, are spawning at what specific points. Especially if you have the alarm to be sounded. That's what happens there. Yeah, I think I really want to put color on these guys. I'm obsessed with color, but I think I really want to put some color on these guys. And like now I know how to do it. And that makes me so excited that I know how to do it. Whether or not I'll actually get to it before I play it. Again, I'll try to have a review of this done March, April, probably. I've got a theater contract where I don't do any sword fighting in February and March. So going to try to play it during that time. Because why not try to throw in a campaign game when I have less time than normal? Back into the box you go. Oh yeah, we got my boy Claudio right here on the outside. Oh, see, I think his sword's meant to be straight. No, his sword's not meant to be straight. You can see it in there. It's meant to be that angled down. But when it's straight, it's like, come at me. When it's down, it's really offensive. Offensive to the person who you're fighting, rather. I think I'll probably be okay to get rid of this cheat sheet, but it's good to have just before as we pack up and before we play. Realistically, I think the things that I would like to do is I'd like to create like a wash, and then I'd like to take out these two top things entirely, these 2 top trays entirely, hack them down in a way that works for me, and then have little small boxes of the minis that you can just pull out and be like, here's some crossbowmen, here's some of this, because I just think I can already know the flow of this game, and if you're populating the board with people, if you're doing it like you do with Zombicide, get rid of those trays. They don't support your actual gameplay, really. I guess I should put these in first. It's the Mercenary and Courtesan headquarters. I'll find some little bins to pop all these tokens in, but it's nice because you do have the space that's left over, which is great. A lot of games like this will come on as a huge culprit for this, is they will not give you enough space to put any organizational stuff in here. And I think taking out the trays, I'm going to have a crap load of space, honestly. which might be good if you end up getting the expansion down the road. I feel like with expansions, pretty much everything, these can go in there for now. You don't need that. It's fine. And the lid just plops right back on beautifully. Like, look at this box, though. Really cool. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I think with campaigns for expansions, well, that might be awful for us, but I don't know. We'll see. This is how I want to store it on my shelf, because that's the way my shelves are organized, because then you can just pull them out. But maybe we'll see what I can do. Doesn't matter. I think when you have like big campaigns and the expansion is just more campaign, you probably don't end up combining them. But I don't know. It depends if you're using the different stuff. Anyway, what do I think about this? How excited am I? I'm excited for the gameplay. Opening this in this unboxing doesn't make me that excited about the physical components. I think I'll be more excited when they're painted, when I know that I can distinguish them. I really like the horseman. I really like the boat. I think that's cool. I think I probably would have liked a little bit more variance in like the basing and some more texture on the things that were flat, personally. You know, just something, a little something. But I think I'm just getting picky now because I've painted one mini and I feel like I'm the expert. But I think this is going to be a fun game. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm looking forward to keeping you appraised of my thoughts. Again, thanks to Triton Noir for sending this over my way. I'm quite excited to try it out. And that's what matters the most. It doesn't matter what's in the box. It doesn't matter how it's presented. It matters what the gameplay is. And so for both the collector's edition or the base edition, I think it'd be fine either way. What gets me most excited, honestly, are all those envelopes and all the secrets that I can uncover, which unfortunately, like, I can't show you here. So I feel like this is kind of half of an unboxing. I'm also being aware of spoilers, and that's part of the beauty of these sorts of campaign games and the joy of discovery and the joy of going on this story and going through that emergent narrative. And so I'm going to keep that emergent narrative exciting and ready to play. So that's it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for watching. My name is Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase, but I now have to clear some room on my shelves, which I'm going to have to do because PAX is also coming up, and I'm sure I'm going to get a bunch of stuff there to review. Drop in the comments down below if there's any upcoming games that you also want to see, and I'll do my best to cover them. Otherwise, pinch that little like button, pinch your own little cheeks, and I'll see you later.